and very excited for another session of The Signal. Again, my name is Kevin Jones. I'm a developer relations engineer here at Edge and Node, and I am working in a lot of different verticals, but AI has been the most exciting thing that's going on in the industry. It's really amazing to see how much it's growing and changing radically. There's just constantly every day something new. And if you've been following recently in the last couple of weeks, you probably have heard a lot about Claudebot, or AKA Moltbot, or AKA OpenClaw. This is getting a little confusing, but the name keeps changing. Today, I went to the website and realized they rebranded again. I guess he really likes to change code a lot because there's a lot of cleanup that's going to have to happen to go through and change all the names. But we are going to be talking about OpenClaw, which is a pretty awesome tool that I think everybody should get their hands on and kind of experiment. We're going to use OpenClaw to basically do some vibe coding. We're going to set up an instance of this on a cloud. We're going to probably use like DigitalOcean because it's very easy entryway for someone who's like technical but not too technical. Could probably set this up. There's lots of options of how you can do it. You can also run it on another machine that you might have laying around. So like I have a laptop here that I also run it on. And the nice thing there is it has access to some of the operating system things. It's a Mac OS, so you can do some things like manage calendars. So overall, it's a pretty cool tool. If you haven't been following along, maybe I can just kind of like start sharing my screen here and we'll kind of dive right into it. So yeah, let's do share and share my screen. We'll do entire screen. Okay, let's take a look here. So first of all, like what is OpenClaw? So OpenClaw is, I like to think of it as kind of like an AI orchestration and an AI management tool. And really what it does is allows you to almost create a virtual assistant that can go out and spawn additional agents to like handle like long running operations and basically like orchestrate things, right? And there's a lot of really cool integrations that it has. It's got a lot of different ways that you can interact with the agent. You can interact with via Telegram or WhatsApp. There's a lot of flexibility there. And it's pretty easy to set up. It's definitely a new tool. I don't know exactly when it came out, but it's definitely got bugs, just like anything. I think it's fast moving, just like everything in AI. But I definitely recommend that you guys do check it out. So we're going to walk through exactly how you do that. There's different ways that you can do this. There is like the one-liner command. You can use npm. You can use this hackable script to install it, or you can do it with an actual download for like a binary. I think the easiest way to do it usually is probably just this curl command, which will download, install the packages, and then automatically run the quick start, which helps you kind of get up and running. But we'll show that off. So what does it do? Yeah, so it does run on your machine. It lets you hook up to a lot of existing chat applications and interact with your agent. It's got this cool ability to do persistent memory. So you can kind of give it some context about like who you are, what you care about, things that you want it to remember in the future. And it does this by like managing some kind of files inside the computer that kind of track that information. You can also give it context on what it should act like what is its personality, how should it do things, maybe like best practices, similar to if you've used like cursor markdown complete files. It uses a similar kind of method to do that. It basically stores these markdown files with all the information. You can also access it via browser if you are running it on like a laptop or like a desktop that you have access. And then it also has like ability to access the full system as well. So when you do install it, the way we're going to do it is use a virtual machine, and then we're going to set up a special user for it. And then you can do like skills and plugins, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and, there's also some other links. There's a Discord which is actually quite useful. I'm not a big fan of Discord, but I'll hop on there every once in a while. But they have a really nice help section that uses AI. So if you like have a problem, you can go in there and it will like try to give you some suggestions on how to fix it. It's got really good documentation, and it's also obviously GitHub is here, and then there's this thing called Claude Hub, which allows you to, or Claw Hub, which allows you to see like integrations, things that you can do to enhance the functionality, right? People are like doing like third-party integrations here and that. So there was also a good guide, DigitalOcean. Let's see, I think it was called Moldbot. So let's see if they renamed it. Yeah. So there's this good guide from DigitalOcean. If you're not, this is what we'll use today. If you're not like super tech savvy, it will walk you through how to deploy the OpenClaw on DigitalOcean. This is actually a different guide, but let me see if I can find the other one that we had. Where's it at? Moltbot Quick Start Guide. Yes, this is the one actually we want to use. The Moltbot Quick Start Guide. So if you do a Google search for Moltbot Quick Start Guide, you'll be able to get this. And this is actually what we'll use. Here we go. As of today, or maybe late last night, Moltbot is now known as OpenClaw. So you got to really pay attention to what is going on every day in AI, because you never know. So yeah, let's probably like dive right in straight away and kind of start building. So if you want to deploy this, what we will do is we will use DigitalOcean, and we will go ahead and go to digitalocean.com. We will log in. Let's see, there we go. Now, if you don't have DigitalOcean, it's fairly easy. You can set it up. Right now, I mean, it's very inexpensive to spin up a droplet. There are some other options that you can use, like you can do it probably on like AWS or something like that. You're going to get much better experience on like an old like laptop that has maybe Mac OS running, but if you want to do this way, it's still going to give you some power and very useful. So let's go here to create droplet. So with this is going to basically just, it's a virtual machine essentially. We're going to choose San Francisco, which is, you know, a decent location. We have Ubuntu 24. We're going to use 2404. We're going to do a very basic machine. We don't need much. We can actually just do a regular SSD. This is like for a little bit faster disk, but we only need about 2 gigabytes. So this is probably the most ideal one. This is what the guide recommends. You probably could get away with something like this, but we're going to choose this one because we're going to follow what the guide says. And then when you set up a DigitalOcean droplet, you can either use a password, which you just need to memorize, or you can add an SSH key. I already have an SSH key added, so I'm going to use that. And everything else is just defaults. We could name it if we want. What could we call this? We'll call it, what was I doing before? Oh, SpongeBot was what I was building on my other machine. So I'll call it SpongeBot. SpongeBot SquarePants. All right, SpongeBot SquarePants. We're going to create that. All right, so this is going to spin up the droplet. And then as it's loading up, it doesn't have an IP address yet, so we'll come back to that. But if we scroll down and we come through the guide, there's a section here that walks you through exactly what I just did. So use Ubuntu, 2 gigs of RAM, recommends using the SSH key, but you could also just do a password. It's up to you. And then we're going to connect to our droplet, okay? So let me see if this is up and running. Close out some stuff here. Cool. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got our IP address, okay? So once we have our IP address of our droplet, we can come over here and let me open up a new tab. Go a little bigger so you guys can see this. We're going to do SSH root at and then paste in that IP address, okay? So we're going to connect into the root, and we're going to say, yes, we want to use this as a trusted server, and it's going to log us in. So now we're connected to our DigitalOcean droplet. This is just going to give us, root access to the machine, okay? So then we can come back here to the guide, and by the way, I'll post this in the Twitter so that we have it for everyone to see. But the next thing you need to do is create this user. So you need to add a Claude user. You need to give him sudo privileges, and then you need to switch to that user. So it's kind of a three-part thing. So let's do that. So this is going to ask us to give a password for the Claude account. So we'll call it, so we'll just put it in. So I put a password in, it wants the name, so we'll call him SpongeBot SquarePants. And we don't need to put any of this stuff. And yes, it's correct. Cool, so now I created this account, and we switched to that account as well. So now before we were in root, now we're in the Claude account. So we spun up our instance SSH in, created a user account, gave it some sudo privileges. We give it -a-g, which I don't remember exactly what those are, but I think it's some elevated privileges. Now we need to install the thing here. So this should actually work, even though that the domain has changed. OpenClaw. Let's see. Yeah, so the new URL is actually here. So maybe we could use that. Let's just make sure the command that it wants. So it wants to run the curl, and then it wants to do exec bash. So we'll do this. And exec bash. Okay, it wants the sudo password. There it goes. So I put in the sudo password. So what this is going to do is run the installer script, and it's going to then execute the recommended setup, which is basically, it's a command to basically go through and set up the OpenClaw after you're done. It's going to be really hard. I have to keep saying OpenClaw because I've been saying ClaudeBot for so long, and then now I had to switch to saying MoltBot, and now I'm like trying to think OpenClaw. But yeah, let's do it. Okay, so this is going to take a while. We're going to go ahead and let that install. Looks like there was a release as of yesterday, so it's installing the newest release. I think yesterday when I was doing this, I was using the one that was released on the 24th. So hopefully it's a little bit smoother experience, because I did have some issues yesterday, but let's kind of go through and see. So after we install, it's going to take a little while. We're going to need to run either this. This might automatically come up. Let's see. But this is the onboard flow, and basically it's going to ask. This might be hard to see, but it's just going to ask us some like kind of getting started questions about the setup. Like what I want to explain with this is that OpenClaw is kind of a it's an AI tool, right? So it's allowing you to bring your own model kind of flow. So you can use OpenAI, you can use Gemini, you can use Venice AI, it doesn't really matter. You kind of plug in your own APIs. And also for all the tools, you also might need to plug in your own APIs. So depending on what you want to use it for, you need to bring those API keys. So at some point here, when we're setting it up, I'll have to stop sharing because I'm going to be putting in some API keys, and you'll need to go out and get those API keys, right? And what's important to understand is you'll get like a different experience depending on what API, what model you use. So like as an example, and there's definitely models that are probably not ideal for ClaudeBot or OpenClaw. An example would be like you wouldn't want to use like an old, faster model that maybe doesn't do well with large context windows, because the way that OpenClaw works is it's a multi-agent architecture where you're talking to this one agent that you create. In my case, it will be called SpongeBot SquarePants, and he will be delegating work to other agents to do threaded operations. And there's a lot of context that's going on because we have the commands that you're typing in, the commands that he's sending on to other agents, and then collating all that stuff. So older models don't do well with that. So you want to use like probably some of the more complex models that can do that. So, all right, so it's finished installing here. And now we can, yeah, just recommend and say, hey, this is in beta. This should be something you don't want to run on your like main machine probably. You definitely want to run this in its own virtual environment because again, it has access to much more than your typical like AI kind of tool like Claude Code or Cursor. And by default, it's trying to be less user interactive. And so there's definitely a strict warning about this. And so I want to also say that you should probably install this on a machine that has its own dedicated user account, separated from your accounts, and use it with caution. That being said, let's just do it. All right, so we're gonna need to onboard, right? So you can do this like manually by going in and configuring everything like by hand, which is very tedious, or you can just use the cool quick start function, which will walk you through the different functions. And so in this case, the first thing it's gonna ask you is what provider you wanna use. So again, you can bring like whatever model you want to use. So in our case, what I'm going to use, I think I'll use Google. And I will say, so we could authenticate with the CLI, but I don't have the CLI installed on this machine yet because it's a virtual machine. So I'm just going to use API key. And then it wants me to input the API key. So what I'm going to do is come here. Let's go ahead and minimize here for a second, and I will stop sharing. And I'm going to put that key in. So you could just go to the Google AI Studio at this point, and you could sign up for a key. You do need, I would recommend, so Google has a very, very, very nice free tier. And so you don't really need to like really pay to start using it. But again, what we have here is the AI model itself is going to do better if you have a paid thing. So if you use like their lower level models, you might see that it will start to hallucinate more often because of the large context. So I particularly had this issue. I tweeted about it. After a while, my agent was just like commenting in like quotes and words, and like eventually the agent actually told me like, I don't feel well, you should leave me alone, which I thought was hilarious. But that being said, this is something that yeah, you want to think about. It's probably something that you want to like pay for the model, and also use like a higher level model, maybe set like some price control so it doesn't like go off the and spend up too much money. This would be a good example of something that like ampersand can help hopefully solve in the future, and control spending. But in this case, we're talking about the actual LLM charges itself. So anyways, okay, so let me go ahead and start sharing again. So I put that key in and let's share. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is choose what exact model we want to use. So it's going to try to use the best model that's available. You can see we have like a bunch of different models. I think I was using 2.0 Flash when I had a lot of issues. And so I would probably recommend using Gemini 3 Pro preview. And then it wants to know how we want to connect and talk to the agent, right? So it does have a UI, a terminal UI that you can chat and type with, but and it also has like a dashboard. But because we're using this on a virtual machine and we kind of want the machine to be like doing its own thing, we need to be able to communicate with it lots of different ways. So you can choose any of these options. I think for the easiest way, we'll actually show Telegram because I think it's the most popular probably in the space. So let's use Telegram. Now it's going to ask for the bot token. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to, I need to open up Telegram. And we're going to need to create a bot. So we're going to use the bot father. So we'll go here, we'll do bot father. And we will, this was the one I was testing with yesterday. So this key is not going to work anyway. So I don't care that it's exposed. And this one that I'm creating, I'm going to destroy right afterwards. So there's no need to hide the secrets. But all I need to do is go to find the bot father, do /new bot like this. And what this is going to do is it's going to basically create a bot inside of my Telegram account that I can assign to my OpenClaw bot. So what I will say is I'll call him sponge bot. Well, this might be taken, so I'll just do like square bot. I'll do square bot, square underscore sponge underscore bot. Let's do that. Hopefully it's not taken. These are unique names, and so sometimes you have issues. So let's try that. It must end in bot, but it does. Maybe that one's taken. So let's square sponge underscore pants. Let's try that. Oh, maybe it needs to end in bot. Let's try that. Okay, it does not like this. Let's try Mr. Sponge Bob Square Bot. Oh my gosh, why is this not working? Okay, Sponge Bot Square Bot. Oh, this is not working. Oh, maybe that's the actual name. Okay, there we go. Okay, SpongeBot SquareBot, sure. So it gave me a URL and it gave me a key. So I'm going to take this key and I'm going to come over here and paste it in the token address. Now it wants me to configure his skills. So in this case, we get to configure like what he has access to. We're not installing this on a Mac and we don't have Homebrew installed. So we can say no here, I believe. Obviously, the best experience you're going to get, again, is on a Mac. I would recommend that you have a dedicated Mac machine. If you have one laying around, like these Mac minis are great. They're like pretty cheap. You could use that. Yeah, it would be very useful. I just have so many Macs laying around that I was able to use mine. You get to choose a package manager. PNPM is good. I would recommend that. And then you get to choose what skills that he has access to. Now you can always add these later, right? But it's not a huge deal. What I want to do is add, and well, this is bugging out a little bit. Let's see here. I wanted to add the Gemini. I wanted to add the Nano Banana for sure. And then maybe Nano PDF. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of different ones here. I think that's good. I just want to show off the Nano Banana stuff. You can also use Google Places API. I'm not going to use that for this demo. Gemini API key, yes. So now I need to put in the Gemini API key. So I need to stop sharing here because this is my production API, or not my production API, but it's a API key. And so let me put that in. Sorry, where's it at? There we go. This is where we can like generate some images. So let's paste that in. Okay. Then it asked me for Notion API, Open API, 11 Labs, and I'm just I have to clear up the console because I don't want to expose my key. Let me make this a little bigger. There we go. Okay, let me start sharing again. Okay, share. Cool. All right, so it asks for a Notion API key. You can give it access to Notion. You can give it access to Open API for image gen, the Whisper API, 11 Labs, a lot of different cool stuff. And then the hooks are like different things that you can run inside of plugins. So this one, I don't know what bootmd does actually. I think it's like maybe like specific instructions that during boot, like if the agent starts up, it needs to run this or do this. I'll add it. Log all commands. So keep track of everything that I do in terms of like interacting with the agent. It's a good idea. Also have session memory, being persistent. You can like create new sessions, but we want to keep track of like the memory. So these are all good ones to add. And there we go. So this is funny because I think this might have been my problem before, is it was like not able to install properly. So let's hope that this kind of resolves itself. Okay, onboarding complete. Okay, cool. So that did work. So let's go back to the guide and let's see what it has us do. So we already did the onboarding and it should have already installed the daemon. What we can do is kind of like start, well, first of all, we can see if we can start chatting with this. I think we need to tell it a code. So let's message it right now. And let's see if it's responding. Hello, are you there? Now, I don't think it's responding because I don't think it's the gateway is started. So what we need to do is come over here and we have this, oh, did he rename it? Ah, nice. So now we have OpenClaw CLI. So the OpenClaw CLI lets you control like OpenClaw basically. And do things like manage the configuration, restart services, whatever it is you need to do. So I think we can do OpenClaw gateway run. Let's try this and see if we can get it to start here. Okay, let's hope. There it goes. It is working. So I'm manually running the gateway right now. And the reason why is because we need to basically like get the agent to start responding. So let's see. Hello, are you there? Let's hope this works. We might have to install Claude code on this machine. Oh, it worked. Okay, so it's talking to OpenClaw here, but it's not configured yet. We have this like pairing code. So we need to type this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up another thing here, and I need to get that IP address. Where's it at? Right here. And I need to do SSH. Let's try to just connect directly to Claude and put in the password. Oh no, that's not letting me do it. Okay, so I need to do SSH root. So I'm going to go into the root here. Okay, and then I'm going to do a sudo su Claude. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm in the Claude account. So now what I can do is put this code in. So I can do OpenClaw pairing approve here, like this, and then I can put in this code. Okay. Hopefully no one's trying to steal my bot right now. Okay, here we go. So this should sync my Telegram account with OpenClaw. The gateway is available. It should be able to start communicating. There we go. So now I'm connected. So I have the gateway up. I have my Telegram bot connected. Now I should be able to say like, hey, what's going on? And I should start getting SpongeBot SquarePants talking to me. Let's see. Hey, I just came online. Who are you? Okay, so let's give it a little context. Like, hey, I am Kevin Jones, and I am on a live stream talking about Claw or OpenClaw. You are SpongeBot, aka SpongeBob SquarePants. And just for fun, I want to show you like what is kind of cool is I can open up my Claude. I might have to like force quit Claude because I was having an issue with it earlier. Let's see, force quit Claude and restart it. Oh, he already is starting to talk like SpongeBob. So, hey, I'm ready, Kevin. I'm ready. I don't know if everyone's watched SpongeBob, but he says I'm ready a lot. And he's acting like SpongeBob SquarePants now. And we can build something now. So what's really cool is he is like got these elevated privileges. He's pretty much can like build whatever I ask him to. So I'm gonna say like, hey, I want to create a Next.js application. I know this might be hard to read on the live stream, but I don't think I can make it any bigger. Let's see. Yeah, I can't really make it bigger, but I'll say what I'm writing so you know. hey, I want to create an Next.js application that is using Gemini AI to and build a basic agent inside that app. And also, I don't know, maybe we can like make the app a SpongeBob storybook app. I don't know, something. I'm just trying to be like weird to see what it does, because it's actually quite interesting what it'll come up with. So it's gonna automatically spin up a project, hopefully here. It probably will use like create React app. It will install Next.js or create a Next.js application. It will install Gemini AI. It's probably going to need an API key for the for Gemini that I'll probably need to give it. But let's see. So if we come over here, I'm kind of surprised we don't see any like console output in the what's it called? The gateway, but I guess there are logs here. So you can see it's taking a little bit of time. It's probably doing some pretty complex stuff. We could actually, it's still typing, so we know that it's actually responding. So hopefully it's working. And what you could do is like, if you're troubleshooting it, it's a new thing, right? So there definitely could be issues where you don't know what's going on. What you could do is install Claude code inside of the virtual machine, and so that is an option. And so what I sometimes will do is I will let's see, load up here. So I think, what is it? Install Claude code. I forget what the command is. Let's see. There should be like a curl command. Here we go. So there's this curl command that will install Claude code. It's still typing. We'll give it a second. Maybe he's just lagging out. And you can install Claude code. So we have OpenClaw running, right? But we want to debug OpenClaw, and we want to use AI to fix the AI, which is so funny. So we're kind of doing this like AI on top of AI thing here. So I'm going to install Claude as like this kind of way for me to troubleshoot OpenClaw inside of my virtual machine here. So I'm starting up OpenClaw, and he's still not responding. Oh, here he is. He finally is going. So he said, I've whipped up a fresh Krabby Patty on an app for you, Kevin. Here's what I've built. SpongeBob Storybook, a Next.js application with Tailwind CSS and TypeScript. Amazing. Gemini AI integration in the API chat interface, theming to go into the, so it wants the Gemini API key. So again, what we need to do is we need to put this Gemini API key, and then we need to spin it up so that it's running. So let's figure out where it put that. So go into the directory cd SpongeBob Storybook. So it might be in the, let's see where it puts that, because I don't know where it puts it. Let's ask him, what directory is spun? Oh, you know what? I actually want to just give him the API key. So maybe what I'll do is I'll generate another API key right here on the thing that I don't care about, that doesn't have billing. So I will go to Gemini AI here, and I will go to the AI Studio, and I will get an API key. And what I will do is I will create a new API key, and I will call it test. And I will create a new project, and I'll call it live stream, just because this is the one for the live stream. I'll just destroy it when we're done. So what I'm going to do is give it its own API key, so it won't interfere with OpenClaw's API key. Okay, so let's create it. And this one will be like, so it doesn't have any billing associated to it, but there's a good free tier, so that's fine. And what we'll do is use this key for the app, for the Next.js app. And also what we want to say is we want to tell it to use a cheaper model, right? Also for the app, use a lower model, maybe 2.0 or 2.5. So let's see what it does. So basically I'm giving it its own dedicated Gemini API key. Please don't use this API key right now and like give me 429s because it will make my app not work. If we have to, I can switch the key. And then I'm telling it to use like a lower model because the Gemini free tier is actually really good and we should be able to use the app and test no problems. Cool, so it's done. Can you start it for me? I don't want to have to go in there and do that. I'm just gonna be like, hey, you start it for me. Let's see if it does it. So, and we also want to expose this. I also want to access it from my machine, from my outside, or from another machine. What's the public? I should be able to actually just get it. Let's just, I think it's just the IP address of the machine, but let's just see. Let's see if it gives it to me. So it's running. So now we should be able to go to the app via the domain of the IP address of the machine on port 3000. We could do some crazy stuff. Like we could tell it to, last night I had it create SSL certificates for me. Oh, it did. It did. It already did it. So it created SSL certs and launched it on a tunnel. So let's open it. You're about to visit Cyan Books Punch. This website is served for free via local tunnel password. Oh, that's interesting. It wants. You can just click the warning. Wait, I've never used this before. What password? I don't even know what this is. I guess it's like a tunnel. Password is just, oh, it's the public IP address. Okay, sure. Okay, but anyways, it's not a super great looking site, but it's pretty cool. It's created this website. It set it up. Let's see if the AI works. So you can pick who you want to be. Let's be Mr. Krabs. Sure, like, hey, what's going on? See if it works. There's an issue. Okay, so there's an issue. So there's nothing in the response. Okay, so let's see. Let's give it to the Telegram bot and say like, hey, I see this error when talking to a character. So still pretty cool. Like we have this machine running and it's pretty much done everything through Telegram, which is pretty cool. Obviously, I have to set it up, but now I have a permanent line with him. So I could tell him to do all sorts of interesting stuff. I could tell him to install software. I can tell him to, set up software, run Linux commands, pretty much whatever I need him to do. Let's see what he can do to fix this. What would be cool, I guess, what time is it right now? It's 12:39. Maybe what we could do actually would be like, let's see if we can get it to have a crypto wallet, which would be quite fun. And I can just send it some funds and maybe have it like try to like do some trades or something. That would be funny. Or maybe we could make this AI agent have a crypto wallet. That would be pretty cool. And then we could like, I don't know, something. Let's see. This is taking a while. Let's try refreshing real quick. Oh, it crashed. So it must be in the process of restarting or something. So sometimes he's real snappy, or the AI agent. I don't know if it's a he or a she, but very snappy and works really well. Sometimes it just will lag and take a while. This probably all depends on the machine. My other laptop that I run it on has really good memory. I think it has like 16 gigs of memory. One of the cool things I would say is if you were to have a machine that was like a lot of memory, you could actually run OpenClaw, and you could also run your own models locally. So if you had something like 32 gigs of RAM, you really could start doing some quite interesting stuff. Okay, so now it worked. Let's go there again. Okay, so now let's try Mr. Krabs. Oh, it's not fully loading yet. Come on. It's still thinking. Built by Kevin and SpongeBot. That's pretty cool. Let me try reloading it one more time. SpongeBob has no text response errors. It says it fixed it, but I don't know what's going on here. Grab this. It's very slow. The app seems slow. Let's just ask it. The app seems slow to load. Could be something with the tunnel, or it could be my internet connection. Hopefully it's not my internet connection. Yeah, so I guess while that's doing that, so OpenClaw, yeah, the CLI itself has a lot of functionalities, but one thing it does have, so there's a couple things, one that are useful. One is you can upgrade or update the app directly from the CLI. So you can do like OpenClaw update and it will go fetch the newest version. You also can do, let's see, OpenClaw Doctor, which will basically restart the gateway and any channels that are broken and do any health checks, which is very, very useful. So doctor command. And it also has a way to like search memory, and you can also just uninstall it if you choose as well, which is quite useful. Let's say if everything's completely broke, you want to start with a fresh agent, you can reset. If you want to go through the config again, you can run config. And then what else is very useful? Obviously, there's the help commands, status, yeah, fetch the health of services that are running. Oh, manage sessions. Like, let's say you want to delete all the session history for like your chat stuff. Just be careful when you do that because you will lose all the context of the application. So that's not recommended unless it's like a lot. The other day I had this problem and it was unfixable. So let's see, let's try one more time. This still seems very, very slow. Let's go to view developer tools and see what might be going on here. It seems, yeah, it seems very slow. It's something with the local tunnel. Let's see if we can like, can we just expose it over HTTPS by creating a certificate? Yeah, exposing the app on something like Nginx maybe. Let's see. By the way, anyone who's watching, I used to work at Nginx, so everything I always do is try to use Nginx when I can, which is great. So let's see what it does. So what I'm trying to tell it to do now is like, instead of using the tunnel, like just create a SSL certificate, expose it on port 443, and maybe use Nginx in front of Next.js or something like that. And okay, cool. So yeah, so just to show you what this looks like. So if we do OpenClaw Doctor, it's going to kind of go through. Maybe that's something good to do right now because we can see if there's some kind of issue. It looks like it finally loaded. Let's see. Okay, so set up a Cloudflare tunnel. Did it work? Let's try this one. Okay, that's faster. Okay, so here we go. Mr. Krabs, hello, tell me a story. see if it works. Let's go to View, Developer Tools. Cool, it's working. I got a story, you say. We'll pull up Anchor, matey. Okay, so this is pretty cool. So I made this little like storybook thing. Maybe what we do is we charge, I don't know, like let's do something so silly right now. Let's add a crypto wallet, maybe Wallet Connect, and let's charge 1 penny, 0.01 USDC on base Sepolia, or let's just do on Sepolia for users who want to hear a story, aka chat. Okay, so let's see if I can get it to add a wallet connect function. Then I can connect my wallet, and then when I go to prompt and chat with the agent, let's have it require a payment. Let's see if it does that. Okay, so while that's doing that, so we have OpenClaw Doctor. So it's going to say, okay, OpenClaw Doctor, do you want to tighten permissions on .openclaw? So inside .openclaw, I think there's like the configurations for like the context about you, yourself, the agent itself, stuff like that. So yeah, sure, we can do that. And then if there's any like issues, it usually asks you. What you can just do is say like OpenClaw doctor -- fix, and it will just automatically fix everything. Okay, but Telegram is working. The gateway is running. It should still be running. Let's see. Yeah, it's still running. We do see an error. Oh, so we did get some errors earlier about elevated privileges. Like it tried to run Nginx, but it couldn't. So maybe it installed Nginx, but it just couldn't do it. So we could probably fix this, something like this, with Claude code. Remember earlier I was like starting to set up Claude code. That would be something we could try to do too, but let's see what it's doing. It's still typing. So it's probably doing a lot of code changes right now. And we can give it multiple tasks too. Like maybe we want to also like, while you're doing that, please set up logging for me so I can see logs related to OpenClaw somewhere. Maybe build a CLI tool for that specifically gives me all errors. I don't know, let's just see. You can give it lots of stuff to do, and it's good at like managing agents and like creating these tasks. It also like will have like scheduling too. Like you could be like, hey, come back to me in like 30 minutes and let me know what's going on. So let's say you started a cron job that's going to run every 30 minutes and you want to make sure that it tells you when it runs, or you want to make sure that it alerts you if there's been like a price movement of like a crypto that you're interested in. You can do all that. It's very, very flexible. Okay, so there we go. So it's still thinking. Let's see if we can get it to at least do one of these things. I'm just curious if it's changed anything here. Okay, so it did lose the original site, so that's okay. Maybe like it will give me a new URL here in a second. Okay, so while that's doing that, so you can go to OpenClaw here, and then you can also go down here to documentation. And there's a lot of really good documentation in here. So if you get lost and you're trying to set something up, their website is getting hammered right now, or my internet is really low. Hopefully it's not my internet. Come on. Yeah, their website must be down. Okay, we'll give it just a few more minutes here. Hopefully it's not my internet connection. Oh no. It's not me, is it? It's still typing. Let's open up a new tab. Ping google.com. Okay, it's not my internet connection, so I think we're good. But it is taking a while for this. Let's take a look at that .OpenClaw folder, ls-althr.openclaw. So what do we have in here? So we have like the config file. So the config file for OpenClaw is in here. We can store like credentials, identity related stuff, the Telegram integration. This was, I guess, the update, if there's an update that needs to happen, or that. This is the backup. Every time you run a doctor, it like creates a backup. Or if you like have it do a config change, I think it creates a backup. So that's good to know. Like if you ever have like, I had started having issues where like the config file like occasionally would get corrupted. I could tell the agent to like roll back. It's really good about self-healing, but that's good to know as well. Okay. What is going on? Let's see if I can get an update. It's not looking good right now. Something is not working. It seems like it maybe crashed because it's not responding anymore. This machine is running very, very slow. So maybe I gave it 2 tasks and that was too much. What we can do is run the doctor maybe. Okay. Now this machine is not responding at all. No. Okay. It's not my machine, I don't think. It's definitely this machine. We could go into the dashboard on here and just see what's going on with it. Let's see. Let's look at it. We can see like bandwidth is being used, CPU usage is pretty high. So the CPU is really high. The disk usage is really high as well. It's having these little spikes. So I think right around the time that I asked it to kind of ramp up. So it looks like what was going on is this is probably the initial install right here. Then what we did is we started interacting with it. And here is probably we were building the web application. And then here is when I gave it another task. You can see it started ramping up. And so probably for like multitasking, you need to go with something like a 4, 8, or even like higher machine or something like that. That's kind of my guess. So let's just see if it's responding. Okay. Yeah, it's still like hanging. So yeah, it's a tough one. It might be hard to debug it right now, but oh, it's responding again. So we just kind of let it do its thing. Maybe it's like slowly starting to recover. TTL reached. Oh, it was about to respond. It was like really, really close. Yeah, so I think we kind of pushed it to the edge. But I think that was good. That was a good primer for like people that want to get into building with this kind of technology. I think it's a really cool tool to kind of like get your hands dirty with AI. It'd be cool to see people, maybe if anyone listening wants to build something with OpenClaw and then use ampersand to like generate a key for that, and then maybe do some like X402 payments or something like that, or build some kind of like AI CRM tool, or just something interesting where you could like kind of give OpenClaw a private key and have it do some like X402 transactions. So all right, so that's enough of me yapping. This was a long one. Sorry it took so long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little kind of primer on OpenClaw, and you guys can kind of get your hands dirty. If you're interested in coming on this show, we're looking for people to come on and talk about what they've built on X402. Please reach out to the Edge and Node X account or myself, CryptoMastery _. We'd love to have you on the show. Please message us. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be doing this every week on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific, and we usually go about an hour, sometimes less. But I hope this was interesting, and thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye.